Are you an international student dreaming about studying in the United States, but feeling overwhelmed by the F1 visa application process? Look no further. In this step-by-step video guide, we'll walk you through the entire process, from filling out the DS-160 form to preparing for your visa slot. Let me guide you through the steps so you navigate the application process with confidence and ease, so you can focus on pursuing your academic goals in America. Don't miss out on this essential resource for F1 visa applicants, and help make your dream a reality. Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new video on the channel. In this video, we are going to lay out a step-by-step process for getting an F1 visa. From filling out the application to the final procedures, we are going to tell you everything. So, without any further ado, let's get on with it and get you the F1 visa. United States introduced an F1 visa for applicants who are interested in pursuing their studies in the States, be it high school, an undergraduate program, or a postgraduate one. You need an F1 visa to study in the United States. And if you are new to all this, then let me tell you that it's not very simple. Not to discourage you, but before the United States Foreign Affairs grants you the visa, there are several things they consider. Don't worry though, because today we will not only guide you through the process, but will also tell you about certain measures that can increase your chances of securing the visa. To start your F1 visa application, the very first thing that you need is to have a conditional offer from an American institution. As mentioned, an F1 visa is granted specifically to applicants interested in starting their education in the U.S., no matter the level of education. So, if you want to apply for a visa, you must have an offer from a school. One thing that you should take care of while applying in the U.S. is to make sure that the school or university must be on the list of Student Exchange and Visitor Program, SEVP. Otherwise, even if you get into the institution, you will not be able to get an F1 visa. So, this is one thing that you must consider before applying. A few other things that are necessary for you to meet the eligibility criteria of the visa application are as follows. First, F1 visas are granted only to full-time students. So, ensure that you get yourself admitted into a full-time study program. Secondly, U.S. Foreign Office takes your intent for coming to the U.S. into consideration. So, for them having strong ties to your home country matters because it means that you will be going back to your home country after completing your education. Finally, the last two things that are required are proof of sufficient funds and proof of English language proficiency. Most of these requirements are not just for the visa application, but the majority of schools and scholarship programs also require proof of language proficiency and intent of going back to their home country. But these are the requirements that you should adhere to if you want to increase your chances of getting that F1 visa. Once you apply to the institution, get admitted, and have a conditional offer on the table, that's when the process for an F1 visa formally begins. It starts with the completion of documents that must be submitted along with the visa application. The documents that you will need to proceed with your visa application are the following. 1. A valid passport. 2. A properly filled Form DS-160. It has to be filled out on the online portal. Steps as follows. Start by visiting the official website of the U.S. Department of State and locate the DS-160 online application form. Fill in your personal information, including your name, date of birth, and contact details. Enter your passport information, including your passport number, expiration date, and issuing country. Provide your travel details, including the purpose of your trip, expected travel dates, and your intended length of stay in the U.S. Enter your education history, including the name and address of your school or university, as well as your current program of study. Provide details of your employment history, including your current and past employers, job titles, and dates of employment. Answer the security questions and provide information about your criminal history, if applicable. Upload a photo of yourself that meets the specified requirements. Review your application carefully and make any necessary changes before submitting it. Pay the non-refundable application fee. When completing the DS-160 form for an F1 student visa, it's important to note that the form is extensive and requires a significant amount of information. You should have your passport, travel itinerary, education and employment history, and other relevant documents handy when filling out the form. The form will take and record all your personal information, including your biodata, work experience, and security questions. Although the form is pretty straightforward and the online portal is responsive, it may be beneficial to seek the assistance of an immigration attorney or qualified immigration consultant to ensure that your application is accurate and complete. This form is essential in the processing of your application, so it's important to avoid making any mistakes. 3. Next, you need 2 photographs, but make sure they follow the United States visa application guidelines. 4. You have to show proof of payment for the F1 visa fee. 5. Then there is another form, which is a bit more complex than the previous ones. It's the I-20 form, where you have to provide proof of funds. This includes providing proof of sufficient funds to fund your education in the States, attaching bank statements of the last 3 years, and several other proofs. For example, if you have been awarded a scholarship, then you have to provide proof that the scholarship will fund your education. In case you will fund your education through a loan, then you need to provide proof of that. Basically, the I-20 form is all about the financials, but it is very important for you to fill it properly and completely. 6. The last few documents that you need before you submit your F1 visa application are 1. Educational transcripts, 2. Test scores, 3. And an acceptance letter from the institute. Once you are done with completing the documents, next you need to go to the DS-160 form portal and fill it up. Then you have to pay the F1 visa application fee, which is $160. There can be some additional fees that you might have to pay based on the country and embassy you are applying through. While filling out the DS form, you must complete your registration at the Student and Exchange Visitor Information System, SEVP portal. So, when you will get admitted into a SEVP-listed institute, your school or university will register you on the SEVP portal. But to complete the registration, you will have to pay the SEVP I-901 fee, which is about $200. Do remember to keep all the receipts with you, because you might need these during the visa interview. Once you have completed the registration and DS-160 form, you will have to take the visa appointment for the F1 visa. The interview is a mandatory step, so try to schedule it as soon as possible. It's a mandatory process, and you have to convince the authorities, but it's not at all difficult. It's more of an assessment of the individual and his/her motivation. The interviewer will ask you about the institute that you are going to attend, and questions about whether you are planning to return to your home country or not. The United States has one of the most efficient systems of selection and granting the visa, and in most cases, the interviewer will tell you if they are granting you the visa or not. In a few cases, it might take a few days. Otherwise, you will get the response immediately after the interview. This was all about the F1 visa process. Do not forget to remember these instructions while you are going through your visa application. You are given 120 days before the start of the program, and you have to complete the process in those 120 days. You cannot apply for the visa before that, but do not delay your application as soon as that 120-day window begins. There are a lot of things that will take time, and you might need to get some documents attested. It is suggested that you complete your documents way before you begin the visa application. But in case you have to get some additional documents, it is advised that you start your visa application as soon as the 120-day countdown begins. Some candidates get confused about the validity of the visa, so usually the embassy will grant you the visa for the complete duration of your education. For example, if you are going for a 2-year master's program, then the embassy must allot you a visa validity of 2 years. Mostly, the visa validity depends on the duration mentioned on the I-20 form. Still, in some cases, the embassy will grant your visa for only 1 year, and you will have to get the visa renewed before it gets expired. It's an unnecessary hassle that you will have to go through if you want to fulfill your dream of studying in the U.S. If you are a student who is interested in working, then an F1 visa allows you to work part-time worker in the U.S. for a short time, but to work full-time you will have to change your status. It's not easy as it sounds, because to get an H-1B visa, you'll have to find an employer who is ready to sponsor you. Many are interested in changing their visa status because once your education is completed, an F1 visa allows you a buffer time of just 60 days to get ready for your departure to your home country. If you are only interested in studying in the US, then you don't need to worry about anything else, because an F1 visa will provide you enough liberty and opportunity to travel between the states and even some other countries. But once the time is over, you will have to come back home. That was all about the F1 visa and its application process. I hope you found the video informative. If you like such informative content, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.